Hello, dear audience. Welcome back to the channel, where love stories, buried secrets, and intense relationships always keep us on the edge of our seats. Today, we'll dive deeper into a crucial turning point in the story of Tuna and CEO Alex, two people who seem to come from completely different worlds, yet were drawn together by a twist of fate. In the last episode, after all the misunderstandings and heartbreak, Alex finally asked Tuna to return with him, to go back to where it all began, back to the ranch where they once shared unforgettable memories. But why did Tuna refuse? Was it because of Alex's sister, the woman who kept her distance and cast suspicious glances at Tuna from the very first meeting? Or was it something deeper? A painful truth that Tuna had just discovered, that Alex and Johnny had been hiding something from her all this time. A truth that, had she known earlier, she might never have given her heart away so quickly. When love is built on secrets, can it still be pure enough to hold on to someone who's already been hurt? Or does even a well-intentioned lie become the silent blade that severs the final thread between two people? Now Tuna stands at a crossroads, between a heart that still aches for Alex and a pride that demands clarity. Should she forgive or walk away? And Alex? Does he have the courage to tell the truth? Will he be brave enough to face the consequences once everything is out in the open, even if it means losing Tuna forever? Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss a single second of the breathtaking twists and turns in the love story of Tuna and CEO Alex. Ever since the day Tuna and her mother left the ranch, nothing seemed to be the same anymore. The once familiar space now felt strangely silent and empty. The cheerful laughter of the little child was gone, and the gentle footsteps of Tuna walking past the porch every morning had disappeared. Everything sank into a stillness, and in that stillness were the long, torturous days of regret for Alex's sister. When Tuna was still living at the ranch, she had always kept her distance. Cold and distant, that's how she chose to behave. She had never truly accepted Tuna as a member of the family. Suspicious glances, harsh words, they poured out without hesitation, as if it were her way of declaring, Tuna doesn't belong here. But then, in the very moment Tuna walked away quietly without protest, she left behind a hollow space in Alex's sister's heart that nothing could fill. That was when the regret began. The words she had spoken, the times she had deliberately made things difficult for Tuna. Now, when she thought back on them all, she could feel was bitterness and sorrow. Tuna had never done anything wrong. She was always kind, respectful, and thoughtful. Most importantly, she truly loved Alex. And yet, because of her own prejudice and pride, Alex's sister had pushed away a good person, someone who might have been part of their family. The guilt grew stronger with each passing day. It gnawed at her from the inside, to the point she couldn't sleep peacefully anymore. There were mornings when she woke up with dark circles under her eyes, after nights haunted by the same question replaying in her mind. If only I hadn't been so harsh. Would they still be here today? She knew she had to do something. She couldn't just sit and wait. She had to find Tuna. Even if it was just once, she needed to see her again to say the apology that should have been said long ago. And so, in the days that followed, she went everywhere. From the small markets where Tuna used to shop, to bus stops and inns around town. She quietly asked questions, hoping for any trace. She wasn't used to bowing her head to humbling herself in front of strangers, especially not for someone she once dismissed. But this time she was willing to accept it all, as long as it meant she could somehow make amends. Yet days passed, and there was no word of Tu Na or her mother. It was as if they had vanished from the familiar world. A quiet dread crept in. She began to feel hopeless. She feared that she would never get the chance to see them again, that her apology would remain buried forever unsaid. Then one late afternoon, Alex returned. He had been gone for several days, searching for Tu Na. His face that evening was tired and emotional, but in his eyes was a glimmer of joy, one she hadn't seen in a long, long time. "I found her," Alex said, breathless. She stood frozen. For a moment, she didn't know what to say. All the emotions she had bottled up over those long days suddenly surged to her throat, making her chest tighten. She looked at Alex, her voice trembling. "Is she all right? Are the two of them okay?" It was the first question she asked. Not judgmental, not stern, but with a genuine concern coming from the depths of her heart. Alex nodded with a soft smile, his eyes filled with quiet relief. "They're both fine. She's staying in a quiet place. They're safe. But there are still many wounds that haven't healed." She let out a sigh of relief. All the tension, all the worry that had been weighing on her shoulders seemed to ease, if only just a little. But deep down, she knew physical well-being didn't mean the wounds inside had disappeared. She never thought there would come a day when she would long to see someone like this. But today, she truly wished for just one moment to look Tu Na in the eyes and say, "I'm sorry. I was wrong." She didn't dare hope for forgiveness. She only hoped that Tu Na would know, even if it came too late, that something inside her had truly changed. That afternoon, the rain had just stopped. Droplets still clung to the leaves, sparkling faintly in the soft glow of the fading sunset. The atmosphere was unusually quiet, and at a small house where Tu Na was temporarily staying with her young child and Madame Tung, the woman she had gradually come to see as a mother, an unannounced guest appeared. It was Alex, CEO Alex. He stood at the door, fists clenched, eyes full of emotion. His face bore the signs of exhaustion after days of searching. Yet in his eyes remained a glimmer of hope and a love that had never faded. Tu Na stepped out quietly, facing him. She wasn't surprised. Perhaps deep down she knew he would come. But even so, she wasn't prepared for the storm of emotions that surged the moment they met face to face again. Tu Na. Alex spoke, his voice hoarse, as if carrying the weight of 100 apologies left unspoken. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything that's happened." Tu Na remained silent. She simply looked at him. Her eyes held no blame, no anger, just a quiet sadness, like the soft, drifting layers of gray clouds in the sky above. Alex went on, his voice trembling with each word, as though he was struggling to hold back something deeply buried. "I know. I was wrong to keep the DNA test results from you. Johnny and I, we just wanted to wait until you were stronger, until your health had fully recovered. We didn't want to cause you more pain. But maybe the silence hurt you more than the truth ever could." Tu Na listened, still saying nothing. Inside her was a storm of confusion. Memories flooded back. The first time she met Alex at the ranch, the quiet afternoons, walking hand in hand with baby Bin through the fields, the gentle hugs, the whispered promises. And yet, It was also at that very ranch where her heart had broken by the coldness of his family, by unspoken truths, and by the betrayal of being kept in the dark. Alex stepped closer, his eyes red. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, but I'm asking you for a chance. I want you and Ben to come back to the ranch with me. Let me take care of you. Let me make things right. Those words made Tu Na pause. She trembled slightly, not from emotion but from the weight of the choice before her. Inside her, everything was divided in two. One side held memories, old feelings, and the love she once had for Alex. The other side was this new life, quiet, simple, and filled with warmth beside Madame Tung, the elderly woman who had protected and nurtured her like her own daughter. Alex hesitated, then softly asked, "Or are you refusing because of what my sister said? I know she hurt you." I've spoken to her about it many times. Tu Na gently shook her head. No, it's not because of your sister, she replied, her voice soft but firm. That answer stunned Alex. He waited for more, but she didn't say anything else. She didn't need to explain, because the pain, the real pain, wasn't about anyone else. It was between her and Alex, a pain born from what was left unsaid, from the fragile trust that had been broken. Alex took a deep breath, then lowered his gaze. My sister, she truly regrets everything. She's been looking for you ever since you left. She wants to apologize, not because I asked her to, but because she knows she was wrong. You don't have to forgive her now, but please don't carry the hurt in your heart any longer. Tu Na said nothing. A breeze passed, brushing through her hair. She looked at Alex for a long moment. She saw the sincerity in his eyes. She saw the pain, the regret. But at that very moment, she also realized she was no longer the same woman she once was. She had grown stronger through tears, through lonely nights, holding her child close through days filled with uncertainty and waiting. And now what she needed wasn't just love. She needed safety, trust, and peace. Finally, she spoke, her voice soft yet resolute. I'm not going back to the ranch with you. Alex froze. He didn't say a word. He didn't cry. He didn't protest. He simply stood there, head bowed, as if accepting that this time he had truly lost something irreplaceable. Tu Na stepped back, not to run away, but to close the final page of a chapter. She turned her eyes toward the backyard, where Madame Tung sat quietly knitting, and baby Ben ran around her legs laughing. That was the family she had chosen. A quiet choice, but one grounded in love and security. Will Alex give up? Or will he continue to fight for her heart with sincerity? With change, with a love that asks for nothing in return? The answer will be revealed in the next episode. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss a single moment of this emotional and dramatic journey between CEO Alex and the strong single mother Tu Na.
Thực ra việc anh có thể vượt qua được tất cả những thử thách mang họ về an toàn, mọi điều đó sẽ được hé lộ trong những tập phim tiếp theo. Chắc chắn rằng bạn không thể rời mắt khỏi những câu chuyện đầy cảm xúc bất ngờ, những khoảnh khắc cùng diễn biến mới sẽ tiếp tục không theo dõi vì những bất ngờ vẫn còn đang chờ ở phía trước.